The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Noem, for being here with us this morning. You know, there's an old adage that states there are no bad dogs, just bad owners. One of the questions we have is, are there bad agencies or just bad owners and bad leadership? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I have a concern about much of what's happened in the enforcement region internally in the United States. And I'd like to show a video, the video number 1, if the staff could play that. Now, this was in January. ICE agents forced their way into the home of a United States citizen, Mr. Scott Thao, without a warrant. As you could see from the video, they pulled him into sub-freezing temperatures in his underwear, held him for a number of hours, and finally released him. You know, the Fourth Amendment says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and provides for a warrant requirement to enter a person's home. Now, that was bad leadership in my judgment, because, and not in your part, the Attorney General has issued a memorandum asserting, I think incorrectly, I mean obviously incorrectly, that no warrant is required to break into somebody's house, contrary to what the Fourth Amendment provides, and that an administrative warrant, which is basically note to self, go ahead and break into anybody's house you want, is what's sufficient. So my question really is not about the illegal breaking and entering into that U.S. citizen's house, but what is the policy about taking an old man in his underwear out of a house in sub-freezing temperatures? Do you train agents not to do that, or are they trained to do that?
All of our law enforcement officers go through extensive training. Our ICE officers go through 58 days of training and 56 days of training. They have 28 of those on the job. Okay. But beyond that, they are trained in constitutional law, which you referenced, so they all know.
The question was about manhandling an old man in sub-freezing weather. So they're trained to do that?
They're trained in how to interdict someone, to detain them, and to take them.
Well, this man had done nothing wrong. Let me show you another video. Show another video. So this disabled woman, she's a U.S. citizen, Miss Raymond, she wasn't protesting anything. She was on her way to a doctor's appointment. She has a traumatic brain injury, and as you can see from the video, your agents surrounded her car, they pointed their weapons at her, they broke her window, and they dragged her from the car. Let me show you another video.
Oh, what? Y'all some crazy. Y'all got no heart, for real. No heart. No heart.
Now, in this video, masked agents blocked the road with their SUV and used it to hit an American citizen driving in the right lane on her way to work after dropping off her child. As you can see, they drew their weapons, they drug her into the street to arrest her. She didn't know they were federal law enforcement because they were wearing masks. So the question I have is, are agents trained to break the windows of people whose cars they encounter and drag them out forcibly without asking questions? Is that their training?
Congresswoman, our officers are all trained for situations to where they're interacting with the public and where they are detaining someone or arresting them. What I would say is they always goes with their presence is when the enforcement action begins, the officer's presence, and then verbal commands. If an individual doesn't respond to verbal commands, then they go to soft techniques, which you see utilized throughout the country, and our officers follow that protocol and are trained in that protocol. You talked earlier about administrative warrants. Administrative warrants are the tools that you gave us. Congress gave us that tool in immigration law to use to go and detain individuals who are in this country that have had final removal orders.
I will just
And
note
also what
that is garbage law. The Constitution
the Supreme
trumps.
Court backed it up. The
You're
Supreme Court
incorrect.
affirmed it.
There's a long line of cases,
the only tool
Mr.
we have,
Chairman.
ma'am,
The
and we've
real
only-
lawyers
Well, I don't-
on this
I don't know if it's-
committee know that the Fourth
describe it
Amendment
how you want, but
provides
it's-
for
but
a
it is the
warrant
law.
requirement.
It is federal law.